Hello all. In this particular tutorial, we will learn how to set up database link from Oracle to SQL Server using Oracle Gateway. Why use Oracle Gateway when you can use DG4 ODBC? DG4 ODBC is included in the database software and does not need additional component. However, it is based on ODBC protocol which has its own limitations. Using Oracle Gateway, it resolves these limitations. This method does not need any ODBC configuration or any ODBC drivers. This tutorial is done on Oracle 19c running on Linux. We got a local Oracle database called Aura19d which is hosted on DB1. We will be connecting to this database, and then there is a remote SQL Server 2022 database called test_MSSQL which is hosted on a Windows 19 machine, and we will be accessing the tables present in this database from the Oracle database. So in other words, we will be creating DB link in Aura19d pointing to SQL Server database called test_MSSQL, and we will be connecting to Aura19d and access the tables from this database. Now I am not shown how to install Oracle Gateway. It is very similar how you install the Oracle database software. Now, there are some steps that we need to do at the gateway level. There are some steps we need to do at the Oracle home level. So first thing is, these are the steps that we will be doing where Oracle database is hosted. So installing the Oracle Gateway. Once that is done, we will be creating in the gateway home, we'll be creating an init parameter file called init_msql.aura. Now, this whatever is in the green becomes your SID, system identifier. This becomes your SID. Once you have created this, go ahead and create a listener in the gateway home and then register this SID in the listener that we created in the gateway home. Once you have done that, your work at the gateway is done. Go ahead and connect to Oracle home and create entry in tnsname.aura pointing to this SID. Once that is done, you are now ready to create the DB link in Oracle database. So some steps at the gateway, some at the Oracle home, finally creating the DB link in the Oracle database. Optionally, if you want, you can create the synonym. What are the steps that you need to do at target MS SQL database? Absolutely nothing. Everything that you will be doing is in the Oracle database. Now, we'll go through all of these four steps. Actually, all of these steps. So first thing is the init MS SQL. This particular configuration is in the gateway. Sorry. This particular file is in the gateway home. So in the gateway home, you will find a folder called DG4MSSQL. Under that, you will find another folder called admin. You have to create this init parameter file, and this becomes your SID. And this HSFDS connect info, this is very important. This is the machine where your SQL instance is running. This is the port of SQL, and this is the SQL Server database. Now, there are other formats that you can specify in this. There are other formats. I have not shown those, but there are other formats that can be used. These are some of the optional parameters. This is in the gateway home. Once you create the init parameter file, this is your SID, and this SID will be registering in the listener. So go ahead and under the same gateway home, under the network admin, create a file called listener.aura. If the listener is not there, create a listener and make sure to run that listener with a different port, because you cannot use the same listener port on the same server. So use a different port. So we have used 1522, and then once you have created the listener, go ahead and register your SID, whatever you specified here, register that SID with that listener. So here we are going to register, do the static registration. Program is DG4MSQL. This is the program, and Oracle home would be your gateway home. So this will be gateway home. Once this is done, your work at the gateway is done. Go ahead and go to the Oracle home, and under the Oracle home network admin, you'll find a file called tnsname.aura. Add a new TNS entry. This is your choice, whatever name you want to give. And here you have to give the SID that you chose in the first place, and HS is equal to OK. And port should match to the listener port in the gateway home. Once that is done, your work configuration is done. Go ahead, connect to the database, create the DB link. To create the DB link, you can create either public or private. So create public database link, name of your link, choice is your choice. This is the user who has got the access to this particular SQL Server database. This is the password of this user, and this is the TNS entry that we created in the TNS file, tnsname.aura, and this has to match. Once you have done the DB link, now you are ready to connect and select the data from this. So this test table is present in the SQL Server database. You are accessing it over the DB link, and when you run this query, it is going to connect to the SQL Server database and is going to pull the data. Now, every time you want to retrieve the data from a DB link, you have to use @ and if you don't like that, you can create a synonym which is pointing to this particular DB link, and then when you select from that synonym, you are actually querying the underlying base table. Now that we have seen everything, let's go ahead and do this. So this is my Oracle. This is Oracle Linux. And what we are going to do now here is we have got an Oracle database called Aura 19D running. Let me show it to you. So let's do that. And if we can see we got other databases. Ignore those. Let's concentrate on Aura 19D. So now what we are going to do, we are going to go to because we need few things at the gateway level. So what are the things that we are going to do at the gateway level? Init parameter file, listener, and register the SID. So these are the three things that we are going to do. So let's set the gateway, this one, and we need to go to the gateway home. So this is now, if I do this, you will be able to see that I am under the gateway, not the database home. So I'm under the gateway. Under this, you will find a folder called DG4MSQL. Under that, you will find a folder called admin. And under this, if you see, already we got one init file. This is a sample file which is provided by the Oracle. Sorry, this is the sample file. We can copy this particular file and modify or what you can do, you can create something that I have already done. So let's go ahead and create a file called init MSQL. MSQL becomes your SID. I'm repeating it again, but that becomes your SID. And here we are going to add these 4 lines. And the first line is very important. Connect info. This is the server where SQL Server, port of SQL Server, the database. Once you have done this, now you are going to we'll go to the network admin. So let's go to the network again in the gateway home, network admin. So now under this, if you have checked whether you have listener and you don't have a listener file. So let's create a file called listener.aura and create a listener into that. So let's go ahead and create a listener and also do the static registration. So let's do that. And we got this. We are going to use a different port. So we are creating a listener called listener gateway. Again, that's your choice. And here we are going to register SID called MSQL with a program called DG4 MSQL with the Oracle home, which is a gateway home. So we are going to do the static registration. Let's save this. Let's clear this. Let's say LSNR CTL start listener gateway. So we are going to start the listener gateway. That's done. You can see MSQL is registered with this particular. So if I do the status, you will see the MSQL is now registered with our static listener, which is running with the port 1522. So this is a gateway listener. At this moment, our work at the gateway is done. Now we will be going to the Oracle home. So let's set the environmental variable. Let's set Aura env and let's go to Aura 19D Oracle home. So if I do now echo $Oracle home, you should be able to find that I am inside the Oracle home. Under this, we have to go to the network, and under this, we have to go to I did not go to that directory at all. That's what I'm thinking. So if I go to this and under the network and under admin, so now I'm inside the Oracle database home, network admin. Let's take a look at our tnsnames.aura file. You can see it has got only one entry. Let's add another entry, and that will be pointing to that particular entry will be pointing to the SID that we created and port 1522 because the listener in the gateway is running with 1522. SID MSQL HS is equal to OK. We need to make sure we specify HS is equal to OK. Once that is done, let's save this. Let's verify if that TNS entry is working fine. So let's take a name of that entry. So this is the name of that entry. Let's verify using TNS ping verify, and that looks good. So the TNS entry is also looking good. At this moment, all of our work is done. Get ready to connect to the Oracle database. So let's open the Oracle database session. And what we are going to do now, we can create public or private DB link. So I'm going to create public DB link. So create public database link. This is your choice. This is the user who has got the access on the SQL. This is the password of this user. And this has to match to the TNS names that we created here. So the TNS name that we created is the TNS names.ora. It has to match here. So go ahead and create this. The DB link is created. Database link has been created. Let's close this. And now if I run this query, you should be able to get the data from the SQL Server database from the table called test. So this is the table name and this it's getting connected. Let's execute this. And now you can see one MS SQL DB. Now, if you don't believe me that this particular data is coming from SQL Server, let me prove it to you. I can go to here. This is the SQL Server 2022. You can see this is the SQL Server 2022. And you can see when I ran this, you can get this record. Now, if you still don't believe me, let me do something else. Let me insert a new record, one row affected, verify that that record is present here. Yes, the two new record is present here. Let's go to our SQL Oracle DB link. Let's run this and we should be able to get the second record which we inserted in the SQL database. Let's verify that. Let's execute and you got two new record. That means we have connected over the DB link. Now, every time you want to access, you have to use the @ and you don't like that, you can create the synonym. So let's create the synonym. Synonym has been created. Now, when I access from the synonym, it's going to go to this table, which is present over this DB link. So let's execute this and we can see that synonym is also giving this. Now, I just want to show you that this test table is present in the database called test_MS SQL. So if you go to the table called test, you can see this is the test table. And if I do select top 10, you can see these are the same records. Now, how did, if you look here, I only specified the table name over the DB link. How did it go to this database, not any other database? And that is based on the init file. In init file, we specified what is the instance name, what is the port, and what database it is going to connect to. And because of this, it went and connected to this particular database and retrieved the data. So this was the short tutorial on how to set up the database link from Oracle to SQL Server using Oracle Gateway. And to do that, you have to do some changes at the Gateway home, some changes at the Oracle home, and then finally you are ready to create DB link. And now again, at the end, I would like to say using Oracle Gateway resolves many of the limitations that you will face in the DG4 ODBC. Now, finally, let me say thank you for watching. If you did like the video, if you do like the content that I'm uploading, do like the channel, do hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and see you in next tutorial. Till then, bye bye.